Namaskar, near and dear ones. I hope all of you are safe and fit. Right? So, in last lecture, we were going through that the basic outline of our syllabus. In that, the marginal costing. This is the last chapter, and today we will start this marginal costing, right? And what is the marginal cost and marginal costing? We seen that in last lecture. So in this session, I will explain you the break-even analysis and break-even point, right? So in last lecture, simply I told you that what is the break-even analysis, right? So break-even analysis at this stage to reach to a business organization reach to no profit, where no profit or no loss, right? And simply we can say that, right? See, the break-even analysis is helpful when if you have your own business organization and if you want to start or launch a new product, right, for calculation of profit and all the things, right? So the basic concept of break-even analysis, what is exactly, right? So let us start from today in this session the break-even analysis, right? See, if you want to start your new business, right? Suppose you are owner of particular business organization, right? And you suppose start your new business. So in initial stage it means the beginning of the stage, right? So stage will not get more profit, right? It will not get more profit, right? It is possible when you incorporate your business enterprise and at initial stage you can't get more profit. Initial stage, right? The profit is not more, right? Right? At initial stage, I repeat, at initial stage, right? You are not getting profit, right? So after some time, over a period of time, right? Then you get profit, right? Then another more thing is that before getting profit, every organization should reach at the level which is no profit or no loss, right? So we can say that there is a concept of break-even analysis is there, right? So at the stage the business organization, right, or you can say you reach the stage which there is no profit, no loss, right? No profit, no loss. At stage which there is no profit or no loss. So we can say that there is a break-even point, right? It means the total cost. It means you spend your money, right, for your transaction, right? You spend money. It means the total cost equal to total revenue, right? It means cost equal to revenue, right? So this stage you can say that there is a break-even point, right? Then another more thing is that once you cross this stage, then after this stage you get profit every year, maybe, right? Why? Because of, see, this stage you reach that, right? It means the no profit or no loss. Once you cross this stage, it means after reaching this level, right, you might get profits continuously, right? Then one more thing is that suppose if you want to launching a new product, right? So it will take a time to get profit. I repeat you, once you launch launch a new product, then the particular business owners or business enterprise or organization have to think that how much time to complete this product or how much time to get profit, right? So at this stage the break-even analysis will be used, right, for calculation of no profit or no loss or other things, right? So new product suppose launch, then how much time is going to take break-even point, right? So the another name is break-even point. Break-even analysis is that simply we can say that break-even point, right? The another word of break-even point is equilibrium point, right? And third one is balancing point, right? So there are three names of break-even analysis, break-even point. First, break-even point. The another same name is, another word is equilibrium point. Equilibrium, that means equal, that means that the profit, a stage to which there is no profit or no loss. It means the total cost, it means the amount spent for other things, right, equal to revenue, right, income, right? So there is equilibrium point and there is a balancing point, balancing, the no more profit or no more loss. So the business organization should maintain their activities, right, profit or cost or revenue related activities, right? It means balancing point, right? So this is the basic concept of break-even analysis. One more thing is that the break-even analysis, according to your book, the break-even analysis show the interrelationship between cost volume profit with the help of profit volume ratio, right? It means the break-even analysis, what is it? Interrelationship between cost and revenue, right? Cost and revenue. Then with the help of this cost and revenue, between cost volume profit with the help of profit volume ratio, contribution, margin of safety, break-even analysis, right? These all are, right, profit volume ratio, margin of safety. This terminology we will see the later on, right? So there is a formula relating with the profit volume ratio, margin of safety, and variable cost and contribution, right, and all the things, right? So we will see later on. These all the factors, profit volume, right? How much amount to get profit by the organization after launching a new product or after the incorporation of their business organization, right? So all these factors that affecting to your profit, So there is interrelationship between cost and profit or revenue, right? One more thing is that this factor include change in selling price, right? Then change in variable expense per unit and change in volume, right? So what are the changes? In break-even analysis, right? So there is necessity to change, right? The basic assumptions of break-even analysis we will see later on. Before that, the break-even analysis has wider scope. It means the break-even analysis has wider scope, and it is useful to take decision regarding your expected profit or prediction of profit, right? It means assumptions. Now how much profit is earned to launch a new product. Suppose after launching a new product, then you just expect or assume that, right? What sort of things assume you should, right? You should assume that how much amount of profit you can get, right? Through the break-even concept. It means through the decision making, right? Decision regarding expected profit, right? And see, the one more thing is that through the break-even analysis, it has wider scope. I told you that, right? Expected profit you predict, right? And along with that, the amount of sales also you can predict, right? In a future, how much amount of sales is there, right? Then the optimum mix, right? It means that see, there are several types of product, like product A, product B, product C, right? And compare this all the product with the study of contribution, sales, cost, fixed cost, variable cost, and last one is profit, right? So compare these three products, right? And which profit is more profitable and which profit is more optimum, right? So this type of decision can be taken, right? Then there are several limitations of this in this chapter, right? There are different limiting factors also. Limiting factor, that means what? Then I try to explain you. Limiting factor is, see, there are amount of sales, right? The levers are working in a business organization, right? If there are suppose I produce the 500 units of particular items, right? So it requires labor, so labor are employed in that, right? So if there is it required 20 laborers to complete the finished goods of 500 units, right? But you suppose you employ your labor on that activity, right? 15 laborers suppose you employ, right? So there is a shortage, 5 laborers of shortage. So this is your limiting factor, right? See, the limiting factor which are the amount of sales, capital, labor, raw material sometimes, right? The raw material is also limiting factor, right? The actual raw material is required and the purchase of raw material is different as compared to actual, right? So this is the less suppose, right? So there is a shortage of raw material. So basic assumptions of the break-even analysis is there, right? So I try to explain you the basic assumptions of break-even analysis, right? So the first assumption is what? The total cost should be fixed. Total cost should be fixed. See, this is the basic assumptions, right? Then the assumptions relating to the selling price per unit, right? Variable cost, fixed cost, right? So here the fixed cost also itself it should be remain constant, right? Fixed cost remain constant up to the finished goods of product. Then second one is that the selling price per unit shall remain same, right? For an example, I am giving the example, right? Suppose that there are 100 or 500 units suppose produce, right? So for the all it means for the 500 units selling price remains same, right? For an example, suppose selling price ₹50, right? So this ₹50 per here suppose 60 rupees, right? You can take any example, right? 60 rupees. So 60 rupees remain constant for all 500 units which you want to produce in your business organization, right? So selling price per unit shall remain same. Then the another thing is that variable cost per unit, variable cost per unit, variable cost per unit shall remain same again, remain same, right? See, you just carefully here the variable cost per unit in terms of unit, not in terms of rupees, right? Rupees and unit per unit both are different, right? Variable cost in terms of rupees are change. If the volume of production suppose change, that the volume variable cost in terms of rupees change, right? But according to the concept, right, the variable cost per unit shall remain same, constant, right? It is not change, right? Due to if the volume of production is changed, right, then variable cost per unit remains same, right? Then next one is see these four are the basic assumptions of break-even analysis, right? See, according to your book, the assumptions of break-even analysis, the total cost can be clearly classified into fixed and variable cost. See here the total cost, not take care, total cost, right? It is classified in fixed and variable cost, right? See, this is the classification of cost, and you studied in S1, right? In a cost accounting subject, one of the important subject, right? You studied the classification of cost, and classification of cost includes generally fixed cost, variable cost and semi-variable cost, which are partly fixed and which are partly variable, right? Then the total fixed cost ever remain constant. See, what does it mean then? Fixed cost remain constant, right? Then the variable cost per unit remain constant. See here again, variable cost per shall remain same, right? Then the selling price per unit remain unchanged. Selling price unit shall remain same. It means unchanged, right? Then sales mix and all the things it is done, right? Some important points or terms used in marginal costing, like break-even point, right? Like break-even point, right? See, the next one is the different formula used in marginal costing, right? For the full satisfaction of this chapter, right, you must go through the formula. So you must remember always, for complete calculation of this chapter, right, you must remember the formula, right? So the all the formula that I will send in our group, right, in a PDF or written format, right? So let me start the basic 3 or 4 formula this used in illustration 1 and illustration number 2, right? So which one is? So break-even point, the calculation of break-even point in terms of unit you can calculate, and in terms of rupees also you can calculate, right? Simply it requires, suppose in terms of unit, right, it is not required the amount of sales, right? Why? Because of, so you calculate in break-even point in terms of unit, right? But while you calculate the break-even point in terms of rupees, right, you require the amount of sales, right, or the selling price per unit. So if the selling price per unit required, then unit has solved, or the production solved in terms of units, right, it's required, right? Then the simple formula of break-even point is that, right? Now we will carry the simple illustration, and before the illustration we are going to explain the formula. Now break even point. So break-even point is how we calculate? So simply F S minus V. And whereas this is the short formula, abbreviated formula, right? F stands for fixed cost divided by S minus V. S stands for selling price and V stands for variable cost, right? So you can use this formula in exam also in abbreviated form, right? So fixed cost, it means fixed expense divided by selling price minus variable cost, right? So this break-even point in terms of units, right? And simple break even point. In short, we can say that the BEP, right? So here the unit is there, right? So you should write the unit in short. I am explaining you in short. See, there are 2000 units, right? So you should write here 2000 units, and whatever the selling price is there, so you simply multiply by with the units break-even point in terms of unit, right? Suppose here 50 rupees per unit, right? So 10 and 4 zeros, right? So 1 lakh rupees. So this is the break-even point in terms of rupees, and here it is in terms of units. So this is the basic calculation of break-even point, right? Then another one thing is, see, this is the break-even point, right? Now another one thing is that now the point is or term is contribution. So how much amount to contribute to your profit, right? Suppose you launching a new product, or suppose one particular new product is launched, right? Then how much amount of contribution to profit, right? Then the simple contribution in abbreviated form is C and S minus V, and S minus V, you know that the selling price minus variable cost. The another formula of C, right, is F plus P, and another formula of contribution is F minus M, right? Here the P stands for profit, and here the L stands for loss. If there is a loss, then there will be sign. There is sign is negative, and there is a profit, so plus sign, right? And if you have the contribution amount and amount of profit, through that you can calculate the fixed cost. Likewise, suppose F and change oppose the equal to sign. Right? Here the P is profit in positive sign. Suppose change forward to oppose equal to sign. So F is equal to C minus P. Right? So F is calculated is according to C minus P. And here again you calculate the F. F is equal to C plus L. Why? Because of suppose you want to calculate F, right? And if you want to calculate the C, so this is the three formula to calculate the contribution, right? So this is the formula of contribution, right? Then one thing is the third terminology is PVR. What does it mean? That profit volume ratio, right? So profit volume ratio is C upon S multiplied by 100. One thing is that you should keep in mind. R stands for ratio, and ratio is always in terms of 100, right? You careful and you should very carefully, right? R stands for ratio, and ratio is always in terms of 100, right? So profit volume ratio is equal to C upon S. C stands for contribution, and S stands for sales, right? So if suppose here 20, here 50, suppose here 50 multiplied by 100. So 50 upon 50 multiplied by 100. So what does answer is? Answer is 100, right? Then see, this is the break-even point. Then term is contribution, then profit volume ratio, and next lecture we will start our practical illustration with by using break-even point formula, contribution formula, and PVR formula. Then all the remaining formulas I will send you all in our group. So thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you. Dhanyawad. All safe. Thank you.